Where'd your mind go?
Velocity.
Velocity. That was the first one. I know you're being me, but
Vocalizing.
thank you.
It is actually what I thought it was going to be about.
Okay,
So innocent.
the V word. Before we get started, I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna ask you. We're not gonna rap. We're not gonna wear these. I mean, I guess you can put them on. But I'm just gonna ask you to really set aside your own personal judgments. Just set everything aside and come to this session, be a part of this session, be present, because and I'm gonna lock the doors when I say this. So we got people manning the doors. You may go a little uncomfortable. Okay. So that's just out of the gate. I just want to say that. So the V word is vulnerability. So what is the first word? I'm going to do a little poll here. What's the first word that comes to mind when you hear vulnerable or vulnerability?
Weak.
Well, but yeah, I'm hoping that comes up. No, don't apologize. No. Texture, humid. Oh, I like that. Hurt. Wrist. Scared. Open. Wrap. Yeah. Weakness. Unknown. Fear. All right. Here's a big one. Ooh, danger. Feeling of being exposed. Someone looking at the dictionary definition right now. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. Tears.
Courage.
You know what? So I'll be honest. This was several months ago, and I was in a conversation actually with Rodney, and we were talking about being vulnerable. And I said, I don't understand. I don't understand what's the negative piece of being vulnerable, or why it's feared, And then he called me ignorant. I never actually looked at the definition until Rodney pulled it up. Well, I'm going to come back to this, but let's go to this real quick. So the textbook definition of vulnerability: exposed to the possibility of being attacked, emotionally, susceptibility. Yeah, no wonder we fear being vulnerable. Holy crap. Like, I had no idea that this was the definition of vulnerable or vulnerability. I really didn't. So that kind of slapped me upside the head as I'm in these conversations, and again, ignorance is bliss. Truly is bliss. So let me go back to this real quick. So one rule, and I asked at the beginning, to be present for this, and we might get a little uncomfortable, but nobody gets to be wrong. Here in this session, nobody gets to be wrong. There's one rule, and nobody gets to be right. Okay? I'm asking you to keep that close, that we're not passing judgment, we're truly, nobody gets to be right or wrong during this session. Okay? Yeah. And then, yuck. I still can't believe it, I just can't believe it. So, first off, who's heard of Brene Brown? Oh yeah, Miller. You heard her? Yeah. So Brene Brown, she's a researcher with Texas University in Houston or something. I don't remember what it is. University of Houston. She's written several books, and actually her job is to dive into research, and she researches vulnerability. This is what she does all day, every day. She reads about studies, and she interviews people, but this is what she does, and she's been doing it for over a decade. So I just want to play a quick video from Brene Brown to kind of get us started so that we can reset vulnerability today.
So I think the biggest myth about vulnerability is that it's weakness. I think a lot of people were raised to believe that. It was modeled, I think, certainly in our culture. We see that a lot, that to be vulnerable, to be open, to be exposed is to be weak. And the truth is, even what I found in my research, is that vulnerability is not weakness. In fact, I would argue that it's our greatest measure of courage. When we went out and asked people, what is vulnerability? We heard things like, vulnerability is the first date after my divorce. Vulnerability is starting my own company. Vulnerability is taking responsibility for something that went wrong at work. Vulnerability is sitting with my wife who has stage 3 breast cancer and making plans for our young kids. Vulnerability is taking my business public. You know, the definition I use in my work of vulnerability is simply uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Vulnerability is about the willingness to show up and to be seen even when there are no guarantees. And it's interesting to me, I mean, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, I gave a talk, it's probably a couple of years now, and it was being translated by people doing American Sign Language, and they came up before the talk started, and they said, are there any words that you're going to use a lot in your talk that we should know about that it might be different? I said, well, I use the word vulnerability a lot. And they kind of, there were two of them, they kind of looked at each other and they said, oh, we do this for vulnerability. And I said, what does that mean? They said, it means weaken the knees. And I'm like, wow, that's not how I talk about vulnerability. And she said, well, there's only one other sign for vulnerability. And I said, what is it? And she said, and I said, oh, that's what I'm talking about. And so, to me, vulnerability is our most accurate measure of courage. I mean, it's pretty powerful when I have 13,000 pieces of data collected over 12 years, that I cannot find a single incident or story of courage that was not completely underpinned by vulnerability. I think the problem arises that there are so many little paradoxes with vulnerability, and one of them is that vulnerability is courage in you, but weakness in me. When I meet you, it's the first thing I look for in you, but it's the last thing I want to show you in me. And so I think to really put ourselves out there, knowing that if we do that enough, we're going to fail, I just don't think it gets more courageous than that.
So, let's go back a couple hours, and we were rapping. Right? So what did that take to get up here, and actually not even before you got up here, even just writing down the words with the possibility you heard, because you got the instructions that you would perform the rap, right? So what was that? That was courage, right? But first it was being vulnerable to being seen, doing something different. Something, there was a risk involved, right? Which does take, it is being vulnerable. And then out of that vulnerability became courage. I mean, we had people lining up to dance and rap. I think that was awesome. So it was a great lead in to this, so thank you. Right? Say no. We just listened to say no. Again, it's being vulnerable to standing alone, perhaps, and speaking up. Okay? So we've got some superheroes up on the screen. Superheroes have vulnerability. Superman's vulnerability, what is it? Kryptonite. Wonder Woman's vulnerability, what is it?
She doesn't have one.
What?
Feelings?
Well, it's her own weapons can actually be used against her. The rope. Yep. The lasso. I'm not much of a superhero, but Green Lantern. Green Lantern.
Losing his ring.
Losing his ring. And actually I found out after doing some research, he can be ineffective against anything made of the color yellow. Holy crap! Talk about vulnerability.
Hannah! Like a school bus.
Aquaman. Aquaman's vulnerability.
Does he have one?
Being out of the water, right? Could go for all of us too, being in the water and underwater with other breathing apparatus. And then the Hall of Justice, the justice team here, at the bottom. What do you think makes them strong?
Unitedness?
Their unitedness,
Teamwork.
They collaborate.
collaborate.
They have each of
Each of them, they have their different strengths and weaknesses, right? So they know one another's vulnerabilities and become stronger as a unit. Because then they can leverage one another for, if one has a weakness, kryptonite, right? It happen to be, what is the planet? Krypton? Probably don't want Superman, around all that stuff. But that's what makes them such a strong team, is they're open with their own vulnerabilities. Okay, so we have the icky version, definition of vulnerability. Now, going from the superhero mentality, Brene Brown's open chest, right? Come without an open heart. And believe in yourself. Now, how would you redefine vulnerability from that open stance? So if you have the ability, go ahead and text it in. Because you can do more than one word. Sorry. Should let you know, you can do more than one word. Accepting, encouraging again. Most of these feel much better, don't they? There's something about it. It's not warm and fuzzy, but there's something deeper that we can bring when we are vulnerable with one another. Open-hearted, openness, right? Openness is a scrum value, right? We also have, I think here, open and honest communication,
Yep.
right? If we're not being vulnerable, are we truly having open and honest communication with one another? I love it. So here are, here's just a few that I threw up too. They're going to sound fairly similar to what you guys just did. But expose the possibility of uncertainty, innovation, creativity, and change. Right? Without fear of negative consequences. Go back to this morning. Was there that fear? Maybe initially. But you got up there and people hooting and hollering and cheering and clapping and dancing along with you. Right?
Wouldn't you say it's more facing the fear of the negative consequences instead of just without that fear?
Maybe. I didn't edit it.
I'm just saying,
Again, this is just mine.
stripping the fear isn't necessarily right. Not being afraid isn't being afraid.
No, and it goes to right without fear of negative consequences. When I had to get on stage at Mile High Agile, for the folks that were there this year, 900 people were in attendance. I thought, I was full of fear, I'm going to be judged. And I got up there and I had a lot of fun. I opened myself up and had a lot of fun. So if you get the opportunity to just do something like that, I recommend it. Fun. Because I did, it wasn't a big deal. Yeah,
Every time we change scrum teams, we're vulnerable.
absolutely.
And the better we get at switching teams, the better we're going to be as a company. Well,
So coming in to be vulnerable with a new group, is that what you're saying? Like,
I'm just saying that everyone feels vulnerable when they go to a new scrum team. But it's everybody, it's not just
Everybody.
you.
and that's good, we're gonna
And
talk
if you
about
get
that.
over that,
You're leading into some of the other stuff, right? It was kind of what Brene Brown said, right? So it's okay for you to be vulnerable, but it's not okay for me, right? It's what I want in you, but not in me. Sharing weaknesses. And acknowledging others' strengths, right? We are so quick to be negative on ourselves rather than celebrating our own strengths and the strengths of others. Right? We're always so quick to go, well, we could have done this better. Yeah, but you know what? We rocked this thing. and thank you for helping me through that. Stuff like that. Giving trust. Giving trust. The best way to get trust is just to give it. Just give trust. You know, I think about my kids in, if you've had children, or even animals, or whatever it might be, and something's happened, it's like, oh, I can't trust you anymore, right? Is that it? Is the end of the conversation? Your 9-year-old did something you're like, I'm done. You're done. You're dead to me, right? Can't trust you. Earn this all back again. No. We have the conversation, and we talk about what happened. We're still going to trust them again, right? Just maybe in a different situation. And we'll educate, and we'll learn, and we'll work together, right? The best way to get trust is just to give it. So, vulnerability is not a bad thing. This is a human thing. This is truly a human thing. So your willingness to be vulnerable becomes a strength. It becomes a strength. It's not a weakness, right? We're dismissing, that's why that definition was the second slide, because it's gone, it's behind us. We're looking at this as a strength. So share responsibility with you, build their own confidence and self-reliance, and yours too. That's what it's all about. So I want you to think about, and we just touched on this. So when others are vulnerable, what's your reaction?
Smile.
Did you say smile? Nurturing? What else? Empathy? Protected? Yeah. Yes.
What happened this morning where I don't want to say the first person out loud had the most courage because they were like, oh, it's safe. I can do it too.
Yeah. Did you guys hear what Aaron was saying? Yeah. So Aaron was saying it can be contagious. You saw it this morning with who was that? Michelle and Chad, who jumped up and well, first. So it may have taken courage, but then it provided safety for everyone else to line up and yeah, check out my moves. Right?
I found myself having new respect for people.
New respect for people. Right? It's that building relationships, it's that connection. Right? It goes with the trust. Give it. Just give it and you'll get it returned in most cases. Right? Be human. We like human. We're not robots, we're humans. Right? So, Patrick Lencioni, 5 dysfunctions of a team. We've all heard about that. He talks about common trust, just regular trust. But then he also talks about this vulnerability-based trust. So it allows the admission of vulnerabilities without fear of negative consequences. When we are able to speak up, I think 30 minutes ago with no, when we are able to speak up without that fear, or what did you say that? Something about fear. You said something about fear. So it wasn't without fear, it was facing the fear, right? Of negative consequences. Right? That's what this is. That's what this vulnerability-based trust is. It's admitting mistakes, sharing your weaknesses, being open about that. And then what happens when you share weaknesses? What happens when you share weaknesses with someone on your team? Yeah, Amy.
Oftentimes when you share your weaknesses on your team, somebody will say, oh, I'm so glad you said that. I felt the same way.
Yeah. But what else? What else happens when you open up and you share a weakness?
Somebody else get in and show your strength.
Ha! Oh my goodness, you know what? I know about that thing. I'm happy to help you. Right? But if we're not sharing this stuff, we're just clicking on through. We just keep moving. Correct? Correct. Thank you. Head nods. Correct. So we probably all face this one. Sometimes you don't even know your own strength until until you come face to face with your greatest weakness. Right? Nobody, well, we didn't die because something was hard. Right? Or we struggled with something. We showed up, we kept going. So whether or not you knew it, but you were being vulnerable, which brought on that courage to keep going. Okay. It's time to go a little bit deeper. Don't say uh-oh, it's good. It's good. This is good stuff. So, what I want you to do, I want you to just take a couple of minutes, and I want you, try not to be surface level, right? Dig a little deeper, say, you know what, well, my strength is football. No, right? What truly is a strength, or some strengths of yours? And then what truly are some weaknesses? Where have you spent mental capacity thinking about these things? When we've spent time thinking about stuff more than once, we should be doing something about it. So I'll give you a couple minutes. About another 30 seconds. Did everyone get at least one of each? It's not an ask for question before we go on. Who listed their strengths first? Raise your hands. Who listed their weaknesses first? That was just curiosity, there's nothing more.
You're not writing down, right?
No.
Tell me about myself.
You have to. What?
This group was right.
This group is right. Nobody's right or wrong in this session. If you missed the one rule, that's it, right?
That competition of strength.
Okay, you go with that. So here's what I want you to do. Okay, and then nobody freak out. Don't have your hearts raised or anxiety get higher, okay? Am I making you all settle down? No. Am I calming you?
You're
Yeah.
excellent.
So, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. So what I want you to do is get into a group of three. 3 people, or a triad. So now. Go.
Randy goes.
And then when you're settled, I'll give you the rest.
Melody.
Okay, so real quick, if you haven't met the members of your triad, I saw someone shaking hands over here. I was like, that's exciting. They've never met. So cool. So now I'm going to give you the next set of instructions. Okay, is everyone still calm? Still calm? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So in your triads, you're going to share your strengths and weaknesses. I don't want any solution, so if you're the one sharing, right, just share what it is that you believe are your strengths and your weaknesses. Not maybe you're doing something right now to work on a weakness or to even build the strength to be stronger. None of that. The other members of your triad, your opportunity now is you are actually going to write down what those strengths and weaknesses, what opportunities comes from those. Okay? And so what we're going to do is, let's see, I think I'm going to change I'm on the fly. Magic, right? This is magic. So, and this is why I had you write it down. I gave you some time to think about this. No judgment. Remember, no judgment. Remember, some discretion. Again, we're going to be vulnerable. And then, as the person that shared their strengths and weaknesses, you need to open up your heart and receive this information that you're going to get from your partners. Because and disagree with me, but sometimes receiving, you know what, the good praise, or absolutely, this is one of your strengths, and you know what I see is you're really good at that. That sometimes makes us very uncomfortable, doesn't it? It's almost easier to go, you know what, here's what I think you could work on. That becomes, oh, okay, sure. But to actually hear someone tell you that, agree with you and offer up multiple opportunities of your, this is something that you do. You bring this in the room, whatever it might be. It takes us to be very vulnerable to receive that information. So we had a coach for one of the proactive classes that Chris and I are doing, and the way she got ready to receive, it was almost like, I'm ready. It was like she was ready, receiving a baby kind of thing. Like she planted her feet and got ready, because sometimes it can be tough.
So what you're asking is we temporarily forget about what we were just learning about saying no, and we just have to be open.
Just be open. Just be open. Be ready to receive. Okay? And so what we'll do is we'll go like 1 or 2 minutes. One person will share, and then I'll give you like 4 minutes total. So 1 or 2 minutes to share, and then receive that information, offer up all this stuff, and then we'll work it through. Does that make sense? I'll tell you when we're ready.
No.
Does it make sense?
What do you mean by the potential opportunities?
So if you share a strength, hold on guys, hold on. So there's a question about what the opportunities might be. Right, hold on. Cindy David, hold on. So if you say your weakness is I really struggle, and maybe this is personal or whatever it could be, it doesn't matter. But being open with my partner, right? Or sharing my true emotions with my coworkers, when I do need to say no. What opportunities might come out of that right? What are some good things, going, okay, so you recognize that. That's step one. And what else can come from that? Does that make sense? Does that make a little more sense? There's no right or wrong. It's just, or it might even be, you know what? You are so courageous for sharing that information. So it could be too.
Okay.
Does that help? Yeah, again, there's no right or wrong. Okay. Off you go.
Body language. I think I'm good at self-promotion. Right? Hard to say sometimes, right? But weakness. I'm not so great at clarifying my thoughts, which is a great thing as the other thing. Right? I'm a public speaker. Yesterday, you heard that, right? If I feel vulnerable, I get really shaky. I'm confident in my ideas, and I can't speak for any other people if I really believe in it. But if self-doubt, I am not going to say no, prioritize my ideas, and I can be critical. My brain is
Reduce tech debt, less reserve, you don't have issues coming back to you.
Spaghetti monster.
So you got about 30 seconds before you switch to the other share.
Probably I find myself in the what I
Go ahead and switch.
What I find is that spur other people to big things in a different way. It needs to be better. Is that I can provide something, but I turn out like fair enough. All right, Tyler. What's guys? There's an opportunity to reduce your stress, is to think about it, you know, right? So if I get this done right now, and I'm not talking about it, right? A friend of mine said on Friday, she's always spiritually do this, like right now, but I get in on Monday. Because who's gonna like come in on Monday and be like, oh, I wanna do this? Thinking, I don't wanna do this on Friday. I don't want to drive on Monday. So there's an opportunity to change your habits, to make sure you have every weekly day.
Okay, Tango application.